last
Yeah.
time. Yes, sir. That evening, a musical relationship slash friendship was born. Even with playing music on stage with other musicians, there has to be chemistry there, and at the same time, it's like you want to be able to have chemistry away from the stage as well. Because if you have chemistry away from the stage, your show and your stage presence and everything like that is
Yeah.
going to be
And
even
people pick
greater.
up on it. It's not just entertainment, what we do. We'll be talking to designers and entrepreneurs and people just trying to get their t-shirt brand popping. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your hustle is, this is Hustlenometry 101.
My
And we're
slogan
going
for
to
my
all get there
business, I love
together.
to say everyone needs a little faith.
Charlemagne the God would say, sometimes you gotta be the roller. You gotta roll it up for everybody. Like,
Yeah. Shout out to Lil C.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I got
Yeah,
these.
yeah,
Caramel
Brandon.
orange shirt. But
Yeah,
nah,
Brandon.
last time I've been booed in my life.
That's what it is.
Well. I see
Yo,
what
yo.
you did. I see what you did there with the intro.
We switched it up a little bit on you.
Added some new clips.
Yeah. Switch it
Yes,
up a little bit.
yes.
Shout out to Little
Yeah.
C's.
Hey, little C's, we love you. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen,
What's
out there in
happening?
Facebook land that's live in real time right now, welcome. If you're catching the replay on YouTube, welcome. Today is Tuesday, July 26, 2022. We are here. We are humble, grateful. I'm going to just read your sign back there. We thankful, we grateful, we blessed, we
Yes, we
highly
are.
favored, we humbled. We're glad to be here for another live installment of the hottest internet sensation that's been
Hey,
running the last few months by the
hey,
name of the No Shortcut Show. We want to welcome you guys. Come on in, say hello,
come on
drop
in.
us a comment. Feel free to interact with us as well as
For
yourself
sure.
during this. Hey, Faith, sis
Faith
is
is
in
in
the
the
house.
house. Good
Yeah,
evening, Faith.
good evening, good evening. During this live broadcast, so again, you're welcome to chat with us, chat with each other. We have a very special guest in the house. What's up, Kelly? Kelly's
Hey,
in the
Kelly.
house
Hey,
tonight.
Kels.
Yeah. If it's dinner time, go ahead and bring your plate over to your whatever device you're using. If you're
Mm-hmm.
thirsty, grab yourself a beverage.
Yeah.
Sit down with us for like the next hour or so. You got your Pepsi. I got me some little peach honey tea.
Yeah. Hold on. We're gonna have
Yeah,
to take this out of the replay. They ain't pay us yet.
Hey, somebody get Pepsi on the phone.
Yeah.
We'll have our people talk to their people. I'm sure we can work out something that would be suitable for both parties.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's happening?
Man, it's we're excited, man. We're
Yeah.
excited. We got a special guest in the house this evening.
Yeah.
We're excited, to be here another week. Like I said, we're excited for those who are on with us, and we appreciate you guys' support.
Absolutely.
We're just excited, man.
Yeah, this is an exciting time, man.
For sure, yeah. So, and ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time, No Shortcuts is a platform that was the brainchild of DJ Famous, along with myself, where we would allow people to come on to speak about their experiences with being an entrepreneur, whatever it is that they happen to do, and hopefully them sharing their story with us and sharing some tidbits of their journey will inspire others who may be on the fence or on the cusp of trying to get into whatever they may be passionate about. It
Mm-hmm.
is possible to have a passion and to be compensated for your passion and to be an entrepreneur. So, and we're here also to network with each other and cross promote. So, without
Absolutely.
that being said, let me introduce to you my
Oh,
co-host
yeah.
on the screen. This guy is a digital media strategist.
Uh-oh.
Check. He's an event coordinator. Check. He also he also is the co-host and producer of this show. Check. And last but not least, he is your favorite DJ's favorite DJ.
I do
And
a
he
little
can get
bit.
anybody from the babies to the grannies to the elderly on the dance floor. Guaranteed. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise at home while we make some noise on the screen for a DJ Famous, aka Travis
Hey,
Bizel.
hey, hey,
Hey
hey.
mom,
What's
what's
happening? What's
happening?
happening? What's happening? What's happening? Good evening.
Yeah.
What's
Hmm.
up, people? What's up, people? We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here with us. and my co-host,
Yes,
the
sir.
man on the microphone, behind the keys, music
Uh-huh.
director, microphone doctor,
Mhm.
rapper, producer, MC, my man
Yeah,
Jerry Midas Hardison. What's happening?
thank you. Thank you. Hey man, I'm just I'm just a lover of music.
Yeah, yeah. Just love, lover of music.
Yeah, I'm just a lover of music, different
That's cool.
forms of expression, and
That's cool,
I,
man.
I like I like creating content, and
Yeah.
and we'll get into how I kind of became, how I got my feet wet in the podcasting world, and
Yeah.
digest it a
Yes,
little
we'll get
bit.
into
So
that a little bit.
really
But like as
excited.
he said, we just started this show. This is our 24th or 25th episode. We
Yeah.
started this early this year just to talk about our experiences in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship and hustling and side hustles. And then we started saying, hey, we know a lot of people in our
Hmm.
circle and our friends and family that also have a part-time hustle, a full-time hustle. They left their job to chase something, or they're still working a full-time job, but they're doing this on the side. We know a lot of people that can contribute to this conversation that we were having that first few weeks.
Sure. For
So then we
sure.
just said, let's open this thing up and do it live. We
Yeah.
started
Yeah. Do it live.
communicating with our people out here every week. We try to bring on a new and exciting guest. We're
Hmm.
glad you're with us today, but also subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Please
which
do.
we'll put the link in the comments here. So make sure you
Yeah.
subscribe to our YouTube, where you can go back and see all of our back episodes as well,
Oh man,
and
it's
how we
good
got
stuff.
here to episode 24, 25.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good
But
stuff right
today,
there. Yeah.
we
Today
we didn't come to tell you about us. We ain't
we
come
not
to
talking about us today.
we're not talking about us. We ain't come to tell you
No.
our sign. We ain't
No.
come
I'm
to
a
tell you
Libra
our.
though.
We ain't come to tell what kind of cars we drive. That ain't what we come here for today.
We didn't come here for that today. And if you brought your demo tape to give to me, my pants have no pockets. I can't take your
I
demo
can't
tape.
even take it. I ain't got no pockets today, man. I
No
got joggers
pockets.
on.
Yeah. So we didn't come to talk about ourselves today. So we do have a
Absolutely.
special guest. But before we bring on our special guest, let me urge everyone that's watching right now to hit that share button.
Mm-hmm.
Hit that share button so
Yeah.
you can share to your own page, and your friends can join in with us right now in real time. We have a legendary artist, musician here with us today, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get right into it. All right.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen at home, without any further ado, this gentleman hails from Detroit, Michigan,
Mm.
now resides in York, South Carolina. This gentleman is a legendary musician specializing in the saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
He's an artist. He's a producer. He's a writer. He's a member of the North Carolina, South Carolina, and Soul Music Hall of Fame. He is one of the kings of Carolina beach music, ladies and gentlemen. And he's an all-around great guy. And we're
Yeah.
gonna chop it up, get more into his story. But please, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise at home while we make some noise on the screen for none other than the legendary Ken Knox himself, representing the chairman of the board.
Put some claps in the chat. Put some claps in the chat for Ken Knox, everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey guys,
What's
tell you what,
happening?
Welcome.
like everybody said, did I do all that?
Yeah, and I don't even think I
All
covered
this?
every, all of that.
Wow. I
All of
must
that.
say this. I tuned into your show the first couple of weeks.
Mhm.
And hey, cousin Francis.
Hey,
Hey.
mom.
And I love the format you guys have.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, it's enlightening, you know.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Uh, I would take
And
my hat off, but my hair's not right. But my hat's off.
yeah, hey, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to see. Shout out to Katrina Mack. I'm coming to see you tomorrow at
Oh yeah.
noon. You've had such a busy month, man, and I haven't had time to even schedule get myself right. So Ken, I totally understand.
Yeah, absolutely. I came
Yeah,
I came on home a few years ago, so
you came on home.
I came
Yeah,
on home.
I
Yeah,
understand.
ain't nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that.
yeah. But you said something,
Wow.
kid. You said you watched a few episodes and it's enlightening. So it has been enlightening. So
Yeah.
of course, I mentioned it to you. We were traveling, I think, last weekend, the weekend before this past weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So and then I kind of brought it to you. because I know you're full of wisdom, and you got quite a story that could be inspiring to others. And then so that falls right in line with what you said. You can help enlighten others who are viewing currently or who view the replay. Because we all have something inside of us. It may not be music. It may be just the ability to create, the ability to cook, whatever you have inside of you. Sometimes other individuals, when you hear what they have to say, can light that fire and kind of set you in the direction of where you need to go. So when I asked you to join us today, you didn't hesitate. You
Yeah.
said sure. And that, again, I was saying, Ken is a great guy, man. He supports all of the guys in the band, and whatever way he can,
Yeah.
and we recognize it, and we're so appreciative of that.
Yes,
So again,
absolutely.
thank you
Well,
for
thank
having
you. I mean, we're
for joining
family out there on the road. You know what I'm saying?
us. Hmm.
And we have to look out for each one of us. We're together, and what I can lend to the band or to each individual, I'll do my best, because before me, someone lended. They
Yeah,
reached out to me. That's
absolutely.
General Johnson and Danny Woods.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I'm with you.
yeah, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. So we're gonna just start. We're gonna, be a condensed version of your story, because you have so much, and we don't want to hold you all night.
We
But
could
tell
be
us,
here all night with this for
yeah,
sure.
we could be here all
Now,
night.
my stuff is boring. My stuff
Nah,
is boring, I tell you.
nah. But you were raised in Detroit, Michigan,
Oh
right?
yeah. You
Yeah,
see
and
that?
that's where,
The
yeah, I
D.
see. And he
The
represents Detroit to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? So he grew up right there, where Motown kicked off, and so many legendary musicians came out of Detroit and played on a lot of these records and stuff. But just tell us a little bit about your just being a child, and um, your upbringing, and when you first got interested in playing the saxophone, your journey to learning or wanting to play sax.
right. Well, like you said, growing up in Detroit, that was music capital to me.
Hmm.
When you come out of your house, back in the day, they had uh, stereo hi-fis. Y'all too young to know what a hi-fi is.
Yeah.
What is it? They describe it.
Yeah.
It's like like a piece of furniture
Yeah.
Uh,
that had speakers built
Speakers.
into it.
Okay, I might have,
Uh-huh.
and then the speakers got some type of fur or covering kind of around them.
Uh-uh. It's
The
built into
carpeting.
the. It's like artwork. It's built into the.
Oh,
It's like cabinetry,
okay,
you know. And in the
okay.
middle, you had
The record player
where you pay to play a 45
and
um
eight
or an
track.
LP, huh?
Did it have an 8-track player too?
No, not back then.
Okay, okay,
This is
okay.
before the
Nah,
eight
This
track.
is like
oh,
this the mid '60s,
okay,
and
okay.
like I said, coming down the street, you heard Temptations, you heard all the Motown stuff, and then some. If you go to some houses on the block, they were playing
Mhm.
stuff like Mitch Ryder and Detroit Wheels, that rock, and
Uh-huh.
because Detroit is all about that. It's a melting pot of different genres of music that was
Mhm.
very popular to the masses.
Absolutely.
So not only Motown, you had the Bob Segers, you had the Mitch Ryders, and now Eminem and
Yeah,
Kid Rock.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
so and believe it or not, they heard the same music that I was
Mhm.
hearing later on
Mhm.
in life. But my extent of learning to play was through my brother. My oldest brother, played saxophone,
Okay.
and he was also a writer, and he was a bass singer. He sang
Okay.
bass in this singing group, and I was
Mhm.
like probably about 12 or 14.
Right.
And your older siblings didn't want you hanging out with them. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, that's typically the case.
yeah. I think he got tired of me asking the whole bunch of stuff. So he about saxophone, and believe it or not, my first sax came out of Detroit riots,
Mhm.
1968. There was a
Yeah, he
and
was
and
in
you
the
know,
movie.
Ray Parker spoke on this when we
Yeah,
had him on our show.
Red Parker
That
Jr. Shout
riot,
out.
that riot was something in Detroit. I mean, you couldn't go outside. There was curfews and
Mhm.
everything like that. And so my brother saw this guy running down the street with a tenor sax. He
Mm,
said, "Hey man, how much you want for that?" Man I said, "Give me $50."
yeah.
So that was my first sax, and I wish I still had it today.
Now, how much
Wow.
would that sax have cost in the store at that time?
But at that time, probably about $1,000.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of
Very
workmanship
expensive.
in a
Yeah.
saxophone.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of
Yeah.
pearls and
Sure.
arms and whatever. You know, but probably about
Hmm.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Now that sax is probably worth about six.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The
So
thing
after you
about
put that 50 on it, you said, I got to learn how to play this thing
yeah,
now.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, now I
yeah,
gotta play
yeah.
it. You done bought it.
Right,
I gotta
right, right.
play it.
That's yeah. It turned out to be a blessing
Yeah,
to get a saxophone for
absolutely.
$50, and it looks like you took full advantage of
Yeah.
I did.
learning how to play it, and as you should, you know.
Yeah.
So then you got into how old were you, or what age when you started like playing in bands, and tell us some of the musicians that people may know names of that you were around in your Detroit days before chairman of the board.
Well, actually, Stevie Wonder lived around the corner.
Mhm.
Yeah, Stevie's right around the corner, and he wrote a song about the dead end street on one of his
Okay.
albums. Uh, he lived around the corner. Down the street from me was a guy from the Capitals. They had a song called "Cool Jerk." Again,
Oh,
this is
okay.
60 stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
he lived down the street. Around the corner from me was a member of the Four Tops. So I was
Hmm.
surrounded by this stuff,
Yeah.
and you know, it was either working at Ford's or being a musician. I took
Yeah.
musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome. And you also, of course, ended up meeting Ray Parker Jr. around that time also, or was that after?
Yeah, we were in high school. We were in high school. So
Hmm.
in high school, there were so many bands,
I can
so many
imagine.
bands. See, Ray went to Northwestern High School.
Hmm.
Northwestern was full of musicians. Ray Parker came out of there. Ollie Brown, who also played with Stevie, came out of there.
Hmm.
On bass was God, I can't think of his name. He came out. He played with Steve. He's been with Stevie now about 45 years.
Okay.
Nate Watts. That's the name. Nate
Okay.
Watts.
Okay.
So I mean, all these musicians came out of there. So in my school, I was probably the only one that really had some recognition. But
Hmm.
Ray used to drop me off in my high school. See, Ray back in the day, when we were teenagers, he was playing on sessions for Invictus
Oh, yeah.
Records,
Yeah.
Cherry
Yeah.
Board, Honeycomb,
Yep.
Frida Payne. He's playing
Hmm.
on all that stuff in high school, and he's driving a Lincoln Continental.
There we go. My
He was
man.
big time. He's big
Yeah,
time, man. And, yeah.
so
And go ahead. Go ahead.
he got a chance. Well, I got a chance to show off because he dropped me off in high school, and everybody said,
There you
"They
go.
call me Charles." Charles, whose car is that? I said, "Man, you don't know him." I said, "That's Ray Parker." so,
Yeah.
so anyway, yeah,
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 yeah.
that's
And
yeah,
cool.
those
for
guys.
those at home who may not know who Ray Parker Jr. is, he's only the artist that made the chart topping song titled Ghostbusters
Yes,
for the
sir.
Ghostbusters movie.
Yes,
Now
sir.
he's not only that, he's an actor as well, and he's
Yeah.
played, as Ken said, he's played on guitar on numerous records that you love. If you go back and read the credits, or nowadays you can just do the Google or go to
Do the
Wikipedia.
Googles.
Yeah, shout out to McKinley Jackson as well.
Yeah.
Right, Kim? Shout out to
Say it
McKinley
again?
Jackson. I
Oh yeah,
said
shout
shout
out
out to
to you,
McKinley.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Because McKinley was also instrumental in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know,
Yes.
and McKinney's one of the greatest arrangers around.
Mm-hmm.
He was involved with, of course, Invictus Records,
Yes.
um, Philadelphia International.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy, he's a genius. You know,
Yeah.
he's the
Oh yeah,
man.
Marvin Gaye and others.
Yeah,
You know, a
Marvin
lot of
Gaye.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And he's also he also Proof's dad, Proof from Detroit,
Oh,
Eminem
Proof from
rest in
D12.
peace,
Okay.
Proof.
Yeah,
That's his
from,
dad,
yeah, absolutely.
McKinley
Okay.
Jackson. You
Yeah,
know, so
it
a
all
lot of
ties in the D, man.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Detroit,
man.
man. Yeah,
D has got it, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
D and Eminem were like best friends. I
Right.
mean,
hmm
Proof.
Proof schooled
true.
Eminem,
Yeah.
hmm
you
Exactly.
Yep.
know.
So yeah,
And,
so
and,
it's
and and when Proof died, Eminem paid for his funeral and everything else, man. Even paid
yeah.
for his mom's funeral.
Hmm.
Those guys are enshrined in a is it a mausoleum?
Hmm.
hmm
He bought a mausoleum for Proof and Proof's mom,
Wow.
Wow.
and that's how much influence that boy
Wow.
had on him and other rappers in Detroit. They look up to
Yeah.
Proof.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And when you have
So,
the respect of your peers, that's everything. You know.
yeah, and I've always noticed that in that region, especially in Detroit, they definitely they hold their elders in the business up there. They
Yes.
still pay homage to you know the people who
Yep.
came before them. Through through
That's
their
right.
hometown and stuff like that. And I could always appreciate that.
Sure.
Absolutely. Man.
Yeah.
So
Yes. I'm honored.
how did
Go
you
ahead.
get from Detroit Motown era and that that soul music era and then Carolina man now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we were touring nationally. General Danny and myself and Harrison Kennedy, one of the other original guys, we were
hmm
touring nationally and internationally as well, like
Hmm.
Europe and stuff like that. But when the record company folded, General said, "Hey, let's go down south." And I mean, South, God dog it. I've heard so many horror stories about going down south. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm or not. Because again, this is now we're up into like the early 70s.
Okay.
I heard
hmm
about the 60s movement, civil rights and what they did, like the Emmett Tills
Hmm.
and all that stuff. And I'm saying, man, I'm a little bit nervous about going down there. And
Absolutely.
but when General said, man, it's gonna be fine. The people love the music. Give it a try.
hmm
That's all right. In fact, he tried to get me to move to Atlanta. I didn't even want to do that because
Hmm.
hey, Detroit was my home,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But General was from Norfolk, Virginia. So when we came south, we played the record game, meaning to be heard, you had to
hmm
put out these great records. And General was one of the greatest writers and arrangers
Yeah.
himself and producers.
Hmm.
Now I'm sitting next to a Grammy Award winning producer and writer. So I was a bit intimidated, but the more and more we kept coming here, we hadn't moved down here yet. General moved from Detroit to Atlanta, and me and Danny were still living in Detroit.
hmm
But the more we came down here and toured the different cities, people started falling in love with us.
Hmm.
And finally, I said, you know what? I'm gonna cut some of this expense because we were flying
Right.
back and forth.
Yeah.
So, like you said, Carolina man met a Carolina girl,
There we go. The rest was history.
Sweet
and the rest.
Carolina girl. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, man.
let's back up a moment,
Yeah.
Ken, because I think we missed where you met General Johnson
Yeah.
and how the chairman of the board
Right.
was formed. Can we back up just a moment and recap on that?
Absolutely. Well, actually, I met Danny Woods first.
Okay, you
So,
met Danny first,
I met Danny first. I was in a band in Detroit, and we would play the clubs. And back in the day, you would have guys coming in and want to sit in.
right?
So when Danny and we recognized him, man, that's Danny Woods.
hmm
So Dan said, hey, y'all can I come in and sing a couple songs? We said, yeah. So Danny
Absolutely.
came in, he sang, and might as you know how good a talent Danny was.
Yeah.
The place was on fire.
hmm
And so he said to me, look, we're reforming. I want you to come to Invictus to audition. And here again, I've never auditioned in my life for anything,
hmm
because I was shy about that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It can
Yeah,
be tough.
yeah. So when I walk into the studio, I see all my musical heroes being the Funkadelics. I know y'all
Yeah.
know who the Funkadelics are.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So I see Tiki Fullwood on drums,
Uh-huh.
Billy Bass on bass,
Yeah,
the
Bernie.
incredible
Yeah.
Eddie Hazel on
Hazel.
guitar,
Yeah.
who
Wow.
wrote Magic Brain,
Mm-hmm.
and
Bernie
Bernie
Worrell.
Worrell on keys, who was also a
Maestro.
genius
Extraordinaire. Yeah.
extraordinary. And there was a white kid by the name of Ron Bykowski.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on sax, McKinley on trombone, um, and my friend Roland on trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, I know I'm not going to make this. I know I can't. I got all these guys, they done played with the greats. So
Mm-hmm.
I get a call, hey, be ready to go next week. I said, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. So I was hooked from that moment. And
Yeah.
my first show was in Detroit, in
Oh,
my
Awesome.
nice.
own hometown.
Yeah,
So
man. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
That's
incredible. That's incredible. So after chairman of the board was formed, and you noticed how the people were falling in love with the music, you decided to relocate after meeting your Carolina girl. Shout out to Miss Stephanie over there.
yeah,
She's
absolutely.
great, man. She's great.
Yeah, she's
But
great. She's great.
yeah. So
You know,
something we mentioned. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I was gonna say something we mentioned last week on the outro because a lot of people label the music as beach music, and I told our fan base, our audience, our friends that were watching last week, I was gonna allow you to explain how the term beach music came to be about, and because you guys are considered. Oh, I should say we, because we're all in the same.
yeah.
I'm all in interview
You're
mode.
interview mode now. That's a professional interviewer right there. He's not talking.
It's not about me
Yeah,
today, famous. You said
exactly.
that, right?
That's what
It's
we
not about
said.
me. But we are considered as an outfit to be the
Right.
kings of Carolina beach music. So
Mhm.
explain how that term came to be.
Well, what was told to me was through General because he dabbled in it when he's with the group before the chairman of the board. He was with the group called the Showman, and the way it was told to me is that back in the day, the white kids would come down to the beach to be able to hear black music. They
Mm-hmm.
couldn't bring that stuff at home.
Mm-hmm.
Parents didn't want to hear that. That's jungle music. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they would go to the beach and listen to all this stuff, and some kind of ways it got to be, hey, this is beach music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how the beach got into it, but the only way they can hear it was go to the beach. And
Wow.
every year, more and more of the teens came down there. Then they started a dance called the shag and all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It's a whole
Yeah.
culture,
It's a
Yes.
and
culture
it's
for
beach
sure, man.
music.
Yeah.
It's a culture for sure, and even this past weekend, we got a chance to see. That sometimes some certain moments stand out from others, but we got a chance to really see last weekend at the Beaufort annual water festival how
Yeah,
infectious and how rich the whole term beach music goes, but more specifically the love that people have for the chairman of the board,
Mhm.
man. I mean, you get and they're younger. They're young. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
that this music is getting passed generationally. It's
Mhm.
safe, it's kid friendly, but
yeah.
it's able to get passed generationally. So when you got guys that's coming out, I forget the young man you posted on Facebook, Ken, but he was so excited to be there because it reminded him of growing up and the music
Mhm.
his
Yeah.
parents listened
It's,
to, and he was at the meet and greet. You want to elaborate a little bit
right.
on it?
Yeah, this guy here, his name was Levon, and he came up and he said, "I have been fans of y'all's for so many years." I'm saying, "Man, you can't be but so old."
Mm.
And he
Yeah.
said, "My parents played you guys,
Mhm.
the Spinners, Stylistics, the Miracles." So he grew up. I mean, he's from uh, um, um,
I'm not.
Indonesia.
Oh, he's from
Oh,
Indonesia.
okay.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay, I didn't realize that.
his
Okay.
father was in the military.
Hmm.
And so that's how he heard all the music, you
Hmm.
know. Um, And then he says, "Did y'all? Did you see him pay to the piper?"
Well,
So
we didn't do
we
that
ran out.
one.
He said, "Well, can I sing it?" And that's where you see him. Me and Brandon sang "Pay to the Piper" with him, and that made
Yeah.
his
Sweet.
entire night.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Now we
So
have
awesome.
a friend. We have a fan, and now a friend, and there was a lot of young people there who grew up on the music. Why don't you tell them about the people on the boat?
oh wow, man. That let me give you the condensed version. So
Yeah.
Ken got an email before we even went to Buford. He got an email that he shared in the group thread, and young lady Casey Newsom was just so adamant about having us come out on the yacht at some point before we played on Saturday. And so when we had sound check, she came. Shout out to her, by the way. She was gonna make sure we came on that boat. So we had sound check. She came. Her and her friend. They were listening at sound check, and our intentions were to go right after sound check, but it was hot, man. We were hungry, so we went ahead and went to the dressing room and everything, and we just coordinated where we would go half an hour or so before showtime. But
Yeah,
she met us out there on the dock. We walked out there. It was such a big deal for them to have us come out there on the boat for 20, 30 minutes or so before we played the show. And it's moments like that that I think you leave something with people that they can kind of talk about, you
yeah,
know, to their friends, or it's just a great story, you know.
Yeah.
But to for people to be so adamant to want to be invite you into their private yacht, and they got food fixed. We already ate. They still trying to feed us. No,
That's
no,
good.
thank you.
Yeah.
We got to play
right,
music, but
Yeah.
things like that, or and you see
Yeah.
people out there from young folks to older folks, and
Yeah.
they got
right.
their chairman of the board shirts on or what have you, or they're
Yeah,
singing along
yeah,
to the songs. I mean, it's something very, very special. So I got to say, kudos to Ken for keeping the legacy
Absolutely.
going. Even though General Johnson and Danny Woods are no longer with us, Ken is carrying the torch, and he's giving us a seat at the table, so to speak, to help him do so. And and
right.
and
And
personally, I'm so thankful for the experiences. We get to travel, man, and play here, there, get to see all types of nice scenery, nice places, and we get to share the gift of music and make people happy for a few hours. I mean,
right,
it's a beautiful
right.
thing.
I have to give credit to Thomas Hunter,
Yeah.
Brandon Stevens,
Hmm.
yourself, Jerry D. Washington,
Hmm.
Yeah. There you
um,
go.
You
John
got,
Page,
yeah,
uh,
Rob McCoy,
Rob McCoy,
Jerome
um,
Joseph,
Jerome Joseph,
Doug Burns.
Doug Burns. I mean, this is a team, and as they say, there's no I in team.
That's a fact.
And I am basically the captain of the ship, but you have
Hmm.
to have a crew
Got to.
to make the ship move,
Yep.
and that's what I'm thankful about to have you guys with
Hmm.
my vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and uh and it's been great, man. I mean, we get so many wonderful uh what complimentary comments. I go back and watch your lives, Ken, when you sneaking them lives in while we play and stuff.
Yeah.
But people
yeah,
but
Listen.
yeah,
people say that,
famous.
huh?
Don't be around me because I'll,
Yeah.
I'll get you in
Oh,
the line.
Yeah. Get
yeah,
me
he
in the
gonna he
line.
gonna go live. He gonna go
Yeah.
live and not say nothing.
I'm, I'm
You know what I
cool.
mean?
And then the next thing
And
you know,
just,
you on somebody's live.
yeah, he gonna
Yeah,
hand you the phone too.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have a chance to collect
Man,
yourself.
I've been out there. I've seen, man, there is such it's just the music is so powerful and it reaches
Yeah.
so many generations, just like you said, from young to old. Even,
Mhm.
we were talking, in the green room beforehand with DJ Blake. When
Oh
we
yeah,
interviewed him, he was a talk about how much of a huge fan of Chairman of the Board he was, and he had the T-shirt on and everything for our interview. But
yeah,
just like what you described, it was passed down from his dad, always
that's right.
listening to it, and now he was a huge fan. And even me,
Yeah,
like as a DJ, I have to be well rounded into all kinds of music, of course. And I'm in a few DJ
sure.
groups of, helping each other out and stuff. And every once in a while, somebody will post in one of my DJ groups, oh, I got this event coming up. I need some beach music. And then I jump up. I got you, dog. I got you.
That's
Yeah,
right, man. That's
yeah,
right.
man.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
music.
you can't beat it. Like Mighty said, it's safe.
Yeah.
It's good music, good lyrics, you know, and they love to dance to it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Miss Francis
Let
says she
me,
loves Ken's lives. Miss
yeah,
Francis loves
definitely.
your Facebook
Yeah,
lives.
catches
All
them.
right, cousin.
They
Shout
catch
out
Yeah,
to
them all the
Faith
time.
in the house as well. Shout out to
Yeah,
Beth and my aunt Gail.
yeah,
Shout out to everybody. Throw your comments in here. Tell
yeah.
us you're
And
here.
if you guys got any questions for Ken, throw
Yeah.
them up, and we're gonna get to that here in just a little. And did everybody share on their individual pages
Share it.
just
Share
yet?
it. It's not
Share
too
it.
often you get to talk on Facebook with a legend.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
For
absolutely.
sure. Tell us you're
but you know,
here.
Yeah.
but I'm everyday people, man.
Oh,
Absolutely.
for
I'm,
sure, for sure.
yeah,
And we got to, we got to get into during the pandemic, which the pandemic is still going on. You
Mm-hmm.
became a podcast host,
Yeah.
and not only did you become a podcast host, you asked me if I would participate and be a co-host, and as well you allowed me to arrange and produce the theme music.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But speak a little bit
absolutely.
on that's my story and how that whole thing was for you.
Well, like you said, the pandemic, and I had to give this to Taz.
Mm-hmm.
Taz Cole, shout out
Shout out
Taz
to
Cole.
Taz. Yeah.
Yeah, she came to me and said, Ken, we got to keep you guys out there. You're not working now. We got to find something to keep you guys out. I said, well, we're gonna do. At the time, a lot of bands were, doing music from their individual
Virtual.
house and then
Right, right.
edit it together. Remember all that?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I said, well, let's not do that. So she said, why don't we have like a podcast called "That's My Story"? I said, "That's my story." I said, man, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So she put it together. We put it together. And hey, did I lose you guys?
I was about to say the same thing. Famous we good? Oh,
Yeah.
he's playing something.
Yeah, I was going to the
Oh,
screen.
oh,
I was
yeah.
Okay,
going
Well,
to the
cool.
Ken,
That's My
actually,
Story.
okay. It
Yeah,
actually
that's my
started.
story. There it is.
It started out as a
Yeah.
party chat first, though. Ken, remember?
Yeah. Yep. Chairman of the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, chairman of the board, we would come on and just talk with our friends,
Mm-hmm.
our following, just as a means to stay connected. But it eventually turned into a full-fledged show with guests and everything. But proceed, kid. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
excuse
So
me.
in doing so, Shelly and myself
Mhm.
knew a lot of national
Yeah.
artists.
Shout out to Shelly Clark
Mm-hmm.
White.
Got to.
Hmm.
Shelly Clark and Verdine White,
Yeah.
they were like our first guest.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Not really the first guest. What I did, I went back to Detroit and reached back and got some of my friends who made a mark
Hmm.
back, in the early days of Detroit's music,
Mm-hmm.
and got those people on. And then when Shelly came aboard, we put our heads together and started going after the Ray Parkers,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Tommy
uh, Tommy
Davis.
Davis, you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The
Um,
Bootsy Collins.
Yeah.
yeah, Bootsy. I
Ralph
mean,
Johnson from Earth, Wind, and Fire. We had a lot of. It was a
uh,
treat for me.
it was a treat. It was a learning experience because people didn't know some of these stories.
Yeah, Claudette
Some of that stories they
Robinson.
didn't know,
Yeah,
you
Claudette
know?
Robinson, Gene Carn, who gave
Oh
Michael
my God.
Jackson voice lessons,
Mm.
Melba Moore, and the list
Yes.
goes on and on. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go see any of those episodes, simply
Mm-hmm.
go to YouTube, go to the official chairman of the board. The name of that platform was called That's My
That's
Story.
My Story. There it
50,
is.
50 plus episodes. There, that was us with Tommy Davidson. We did
Yeah.
two episodes with him. He's funny. You guys already know how Tommy
Yeah.
Davidson is. So he's great, and he
Yeah.
played some. So he's working on music at the time, and he showcased some of the new music he was working on one
Yeah.
of his episodes. So yeah, man. So yeah,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it was a great time, and we ended up getting syndication on. www.channel49tv.com.
There you go.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
we come right on after the show about stuff with Stephen Davis. Shout out to our peoples
Right.
over there
Yeah.
who put us in syndication, and we were syndicated, running in syndication ourselves manually on YouTube and Facebook for a while, but we ended up our plates being a little too full to keep going. And summertime, everybody spread out,
Oh
but
yeah.
you never know. We may revisit that, do some special episodes here
Yeah.
and there, But yeah,
Absolutely.
man,
If you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
joining in, we're talking to Ken Knox, aka Mr. Summer.
Mr. Summer, yeah, man,
Oh
The
yeah.
chairman of the board, the legendary chairman of the board. Talk to us, everyone.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, and
Oh man.
actually a suitable nickname if so, because that's
Yeah.
when we're out and about, man.
Actually, I thought about that when I came to see you guys 2 weekends ago. I said,
Yeah,
man, this dude. I was talking to my wife. I said, man, this dude is Mr. Summer right here. That's
yeah,
What?
it. That's when it came. I said, that's Mr. Summer right there. And another question I had that sparked from when I saw you perform last weekend was with the saxophone. And we were talking about how much discipline that much take, like personal discipline, for you to still be out there all these years later, still singing, dancing, and playing sax. I said, man, this man must not put nothing, no smoking, no nothing, to be able to do that still, for sure.
Well, you're right. I did smoke. I quit about 30 years ago. I mean, I was like everybody else, smoking cigarettes,
Sure.
or trying to be cool.
Yeah.
In fact, I smoke cools.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You smoke a pack of cools.
Yeah, cools. But it's right. It is discipline. Because even a lot of people say that today. How can you still? Because I'm 70 years old, and they say, how can you still do that, jumping up and down and playing? And I'm using every part of my body, and I'm blowing.
Air.
My lungs, they have to be clear.
Right.
Singing, it has to be clear. But also, the only downfall I have, I only get 4 to 5 hours sleep a night.
Wow.
And I've been doing that for the past probably 25 years, getting that much. I mean, that less of
Sleep.
that
Yeah.
much that less sleep. When they say the average should be 7 to 8 hours, I don't get that. If I get 6, I am lucky.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised anytime you take a nap when we on the road. Anytime you're not awake, I'm surprised. And it's very rare that he's not awake.
Oh yeah,
He's always
I'm always I'm always awake. I'm
yeah.
always awake watching what's
Yeah.
going on.
Well,
But
I've seen some of those road pictures, and Midas is driving, so I wouldn't be sleeping either.
Yeah. Hey, y'all
yeah,
know I'm one of the safest drivers out there. You know
yeah,
what
my
I'm saying?
it really is. It's,
Yo, I
it's
don't
a
play
couple of
around,
that.
man. I'm a
Like,
defensive driver.
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
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 man.
yeah. But man, anybody got any questions out there? Did anybody post anything?
No questions, but Miss Francis definitely
Yeah.
says she
Let's throw some
appreciates
comments
Ken
up.
for every opportunity that he's given. For sure.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, Mom said she told me earlier. I'm trying to figure out what she's referring to.
See, oh,
That's
about I forgot what.
did I miss
Yeah, I forgot
something?
when that was. Yeah, I forgot what that was about. But
Okay,
she's
I know we're
crying
talking about.
about that driving comment. So she probably knows something we didn't know
Ah,
about.
hey, my
About
son,
driving.
my son told me I drive really
Yeah.
well, so I'm gonna take that.
oh,
It might have been. Was it on the what we talked about the hi-fi stereo thing? See, the one I remember when I was a kid, they may have updated it to an 8 track by then.
Yeah, because my aunt Gail, she commented the same thing, that the one that she
Yeah, okay, that's the
remember
one I remember. That's like
was with the 8 track, with the 8 track tape
yeah,
inside. So
yeah.
that's
See,
the
that's
one
the
she
one I
remembered.
remember. So that would be the one my
Yeah,
parents was able to get.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
wow.
my first incarnation too. Oh
Okay.
yeah, your
Okay.
mom was talking about the talk show, about how you being a professional host now.
Hey, I let you guys tell it. You know what
Talk
I'm
about the
saying?
chairman like you wasn't in the band. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
all the way host mode. You know what I mean?
So, Ken, when we had Brandon Stevens on a few weeks ago as well, also chairman of the board, and he gave us
Right.
an interesting story about when he first started singing, and one of the very first times he performed live and got booed. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't assume that something like that happened to you, but do you remember like what your first time performing outside, for in public?
Ooh, I didn't get anything like that. The worst I got was when I first went to England, 1974. I was nervous as heck because I had never been to Europe before. Didn't know what to expect. When I came up to the mic to take a solo, these girls grabbed me around my legs and tried to pull me off the stage. And Danny had to reach and grab me around my waist to pull me back. And I didn't want to go back to the front at all, man, because and then when I would go to shake their hands, they try
Yeah.
to pull you
Boy,
down.
yeah.
I said, forget it. So I didn't get moved, but
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's much better.
Yeah. See, we don't have that problem
Yeah.
being behind the instruments. We don't
Yeah.
have those.
Yeah.
those.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I'm in a safe space,
Yeah.
I'm in a
yeah.
safe space. Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
generally on this show, when we like to talk to folks, we like to get advice as well. So your story is definitely inspiring of its own, but
For
also with that, if there's someone watching that is interested in getting in the music business or getting in the podcast business or performing or just anything that they want to that's inspiring them and they want to take that extra step towards whatever that is, what kind of advice would you have for us?
To be true to yourselves, you know, don't follow, don't follow the trend, but to be true to yourself because there might be somebody out there listening for your style. You know, people's
Yeah.
always looking for something new,
That's right.
and then when you start switching up, and then you lose yourself. So I would say be true to yourself. And matter of fact, here's a good example. Midas remembers this. There was two young guys, probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
They wanted to open up for us. One played bass and one played guitar, and these
Yeah.
were two talented young boys.
Mhm.
One was called Red Man. He played bass, and
Mhm.
I can't think of the other boy's name who played guitar. Again, they were
We saw
probably
them.
16.
Yeah. We saw the other guy at Myrtle a couple years
Yes,
ago after we performed on the Main Street thing down there outside. He waited
absolutely.
on you. He waited on you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
after the gig
So,
and checking in the hotel, and he waited to talk to you
yeah.
to give you the update. But go ahead.
So when you see people that admire what you do, you try to reach out,
Mhm.
try to help these boys. So they probably open up for us like 2 or 3 times,
Yeah, he gave him an
and
opportunity
the
to
people
speak.
loved them.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
So what we did, we reached out and put them out there. Now the one guy, Red Man, just signed his first recording contract
Mhm.
with a label down in Florida.
Mhm.
He prior to him signing, he sent me the contract to look over.
Mhm.
So I took about 2 weeks looking at it, and I said, "Look, these opportunities don't come every day.
That's true.
Yes, and you're
Very
young enough. You can regroup if this is not right for you.
Mhm.
Because at this point now he's probably 20.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we
so
barely recognized him the last time we saw him. He was
oh my
taller,
God,
more mature looking. Yeah.
he's got the look, man. He has the look for this stuff. I mean, he has the right attitude. His dress.
Mhm.
Uh, he's good, man. He's right for it. So hey, like I said, you're young enough. You have enough time to regroup and do something else. But take advantage of this first one. And
Mhm.
everybody gets beat up
Yeah,
on their
on
first
the first
contract.
one. Yeah.
Don't nobody, even the Beatles got beat up. Even
Yeah.
the Temptations, everybody got beat up on their first contract. But that's the nature of the game.
Mhm. Gotta earn
So
that
again, I said,
leverage.
be true to yourselves and don't follow the trend. Create a trend.
Yes,
You,
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
and something else the general told me: always own your own masters.
There
Hmm.
you go.
Always own your own masters. That's something I told him to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
And
make sure,
the greats
yeah,
preach that part.
yep. I said, make sure you're able to own your masters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Prince went through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was telling there's stories out there about him just calling before he passed, calling other artists randomly. Just, do you own your masters? We got to get you. You got to own your masters. So
Yeah.
he was a great example of. People forget that he used to have the word slave on his face for a period of
That was
time. He was
because of that.
the
Yeah.
artist formerly known as Prince. That was all. I didn't understand it at the time, but now it
Yeah.
makes sense. It was contractual disputes
Yeah. I remember
using
that.
my name, using my likeness. I don't want you guys to get
He
paid
didn't
off
want
of
them to
me,
make no more money off of him.
so I
Yeah.
got to
Right.
switch it up. Yeah, so
But actually, the label he went to, chairman of the board, we worked with them, and they told us the story.
mm,
Prince, he went to them. They gave him the name artist formerly known.
mm,
Okay.
They created, and he did the whole thing about with the slave, but they
Yeah.
gave him that name. And they did release a single on him. I think the most beautiful girl.
The most beautiful
the
girl in the world.
world,
Yeah.
could you be
Yeah,
the
I think
most
that was
beautiful?
it. They released on him, and
Yeah.
so hey, and see this guy here used to run Stax Records. Stax
Mhm.
was as big as Motown.
Mm-hmm.
So his name was Al Bell,
Okay.
another
Okay,
legend in business. And Al Bell had uh, um, Al Green and staple singers, the
Yeah.
Dramatics, all that. So Prince went to the right person,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
But
makes sense now. I didn't know that part, but I'm a big Prince fan, and I followed him forever. And then when you mentioned that he went to that label, who already had staple singers, he worked with them a lot. He worked with Mavis Staples a lot, and
yeah,
now that connection.
Yeah.
We getting
yeah,
all this game for free on this show today, man.
Free 99.
Free
You hit the
99.
cash app. Hit
I
the cash
appreciate you
app.
guys having me on.
Yeah, man, it's
Yeah,
been
this is
great. It's
awesome.
been great. Ken, you want to tell everybody where we're gonna be this week? And while we scan the chat, see if we have any questions. I think everybody's just chilling. What do you
Everybody's
want
chilling, just enjoying. They're just
That's all
enjoying it.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
this
got
week,
some shows.
yeah, we got some shows. Thursday night, Thursday will be in Statesville at the Statesville Civic Center. That show
Mhm,
starts at 7. Then
mhm.
Friday we head to the coast. We're going to
Surf.
be in Surf City, North
Yeah.
Carolina. That show starts at 6.
Mhm.
And Saturday's going to be real big.
Real big.
I
Tell
sit on
us.
the board of the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And that's a big thing to me because it's not often you get elected to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
And it means a lot to me. And one of my friends on the board who happens to be the chair of the board is Debbie McFadder.
Shout out to Miss Debbie, big supporter as well.
Debbie McFadder.
Mhm.
So the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame is putting together a fundraiser on Saturday in Garner, North Carolina, at the Garner Performing Arts Center. That starts itself. And on that show, at 7, I'm sorry, on that
Yeah.
show will be Clyde McFadder's Drifters, which
Yes.
is Debbie McFadder's brother, Ron McFadder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Carrying on the legacy.
Yes, chairman of the board,
Yep.
and the Catalinas.
Yeah.
And fundraiser that starts at 7.
Yeah.
So we got some good shows coming up this week. We
Mhm.
probably won't get on the yacht again for another year.
Yeah. I know you're happy about that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mattis was watching me walk the boardwalk. He said, "I
Uh-huh.
know Ken gonna turn around any minute."
Oh yeah,
I know
that
Ken.
little
He,
little gingerly walk.
yeah, a little
Yeah,
apprehensive about certain things, so I was just
Yeah,
checking on him. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's what friends do. You just
yeah.
make sure each other's okay.
He might
If
have
you
to
need,
do the
yeah,
show from
if you need,
outside on the Facebook Live.
he didn't go live on that one.
yeah. I didn't do it on that one.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I had every
Uh huh. Everything was
count.
with.
every
Yeah.
every every foot placement was strategically placed. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That is what's
calculation.
up.
But nah, it was fun, man. And
Yeah.
and this cool things like that don't happen all the time because it
Yeah.
makes it special when it does. So again, shout out to them for having us come by for a little meet and greet
That's
before we
awesome.
played. Buford was great. And ladies and gentlemen, you can get the rest of the chairman of the board schedule at
Yeah.
www.thechairmanoftheboard.com. Click around, take a look,
Take a look. See.
yeah.
see where we're going to be near you. Also, go over to YouTube and as you're subscribing to the No Shortcut Show, go ahead and subscribe to the official chairman of the board page over there too, so you get
Hmm.
all of this hot and fresh content as soon as it comes out the grease.
Yeah,
You don't
and I
even
can
have to,
tell you,
piping hot.
not just because this is my family, but it is an amazing show. Whenever I have a chance to see y'all, I mean, I saw you a few weeks ago. The last
Yeah,
time I
man.
saw y'all was before the pandemic, of course. But every time I get a
Sylvia's.
chance,
He was at Sylvia's.
when you get close enough to me, because I know y'all be touring Europe and things, but whenever you're close enough to me, I try to get by, and it's a great show, family friendly. You can bring the kids and just
Yeah,
enjoy some good music for 2 hours or something, and it's just
yeah,
amazing. We
yeah.
always have a good time.
Sometimes
Well, you know
three,
what?
depending on.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're saying this because August the 27th, we're actually going to
Oh,
be
back in
in York.
York.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah,
first chairman show. Was in York. Yeah.
The Summerfest.
Yeah. It was at that
Well,
theater.
You were at Sylvia's,
Yeah.
right? The time you saw us, and I
Yeah.
think this in August when we play in York is Summerfest, the car
Okay.
shows and all of
Okay.
that
Yeah. If I
downtown
don't
yeah,
York.
have a gig, we might try to get through York then.
Yeah,
yeah.
man,
It's
it's
a
gonna
good
be a good
show.
time.
Hopefully, what's the guy, the DJ guy that we spoke of earlier?
Blake.
Shaking Blake,
Hopefully,
DJ, yeah,
yo,
Shaking Blake.
yeah,
Yeah, he needs to come out through. We gonna need to
Yeah.
arrange something.
Yeah, he's usually on watching too, but if not, he'll watch the replay. But I'll let him know too. Check out the calendar because you guys are gonna be in York, and we trying to roll through. Me and Blake
Yeah,
might double date that thing.
there you
yeah.
go. Yeah, make it a family affair. The kids can come too
Absolutely.
if they have to.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
thing. That's the thing again about the music. I mean, if you got to bring the kids, they'll have a good old time as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
You
they'll
know,
yeah.
there's
definitely
usually
will.
some food around. There's food, music, and everything else you need to have a concoction that makes a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But Ken, we
cool.
thank you for joining us today, and
Absolutely,
this will
man.
also be uploaded to YouTube after it lives here on Facebook a few days. It's going to be
Hmm.
on YouTube for those to continue to watch, and that's where it'll live. So we want to
Yeah.
thank you for taking a moment out of your evening
We
for
definitely
joining us
appreciate this. This was
and
great.
helping us along as a new platform. We
Absolutely.
appreciate
I
you.
love it, man. You guys are doing a great job. And so it's every Tuesday at 7.
Every
Mhm.
Tuesday at 7
Every
p.m.
Tuesday at
Yes, sir.
7, unless noted otherwise,
Yeah.
which is few and far in between.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just we may have a lot going on. I think
Yeah.
we only missed one or two Tuesdays since we started in February, I believe.
Yeah, I think one we ended up having to do on a Monday instead, and then
Yeah,
another
I
one
remember.
we went at 8 instead of 7 to accommodate
yeah.
guests.
I
But yeah.
remember that. Well, let
Yeah.
me say a shout out to my cousins,
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Francis.
There she is.
Thanks, Ma. Yeah. They go
Yep.
back and forth like that ever since the Pecan Festival, right?
Yeah.
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 Thank you so much,
Norma,
Mom, and
Faith,
Faith, and everybody
Faith.
else, Kelly, and who
and
else was
Kelly.
on?
Well, Kelly's not a cousin,
Yeah.
but Kelly did come to see us, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Didn't Kelly come to see us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
In
Brown-
Hendersonville, and
Yeah,
she
Okay.
would watch the replays of That's My Story with us while we were doing the reruns until we had
that's
to
right.
stop
That's
and
right.
everything. Yeah, so we appreciate
Awesome.
everybody support. Let me shout out all of the all of my the businesses and everything. We're gonna start with the chairman of the board. Shout out to the chairman of the board and the executives. Shout out to Mellow Groove. Shout out to Smooth Sales. Shout out to
Yeah.
FMG Event Co.
Hey,
That's
what's up?
famous over there. Shout out to A Touch of Faith. Shout out to our Power community. Shout out to our Honeycomb family, and shout out to our Earth, Wind, and Fire family. We
Wow,
appreciate and love you guys. Thank you for all that you guys do for
for
us.
sure.
We love
And
you.
shout out
Appreciate it.
to Mr. Summer,
Mr. Summer himself.
Mr.
Okay,
Summer
that might
himself.
stick around.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
You can take that.
Yeah.
I won't even charge
Yeah.
for it. You did all this game for free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the least you can do is just give a free
Yeah,
nickname.
Mr.
And
Summer,
so,
the
you know,
Ken Knox of Chairman
yeah,
of the
man.
Board. Thank you so much for being with
Yeah.
us. This
You
was
guys
got
amazing.
any closing words? Any closing words before we get on with the rest of our evening?
Who me?
Who, me?
That's
Oh, to both of you.
I'll let Mr. Knox close us out.
All right.
Well, yeah, I just want to say, on a serious note, to wish me a happy birthday.
Oh yeah.
No, man, that's in January. I just,
I was about to say,
no, my
your
cash
birthday
app
be the
is-
soul.
Yeah. Hit him with the Cash App.
Oh,
No,
man.
we look forward to seeing you guys on the road, and appreciate every one of y'all who listened tonight, and come see us in concert. And looking forward to seeing Famous back
Yes, sir.
at one of the shows, hopefully in August.
Absolutely.
And you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank you so much, Ken.
Yeah. All
Thank
right,
you
well,
everybody for joining us. Make
Yeah,
sure
with
you
that being
subscribe
said-
to the YouTube.
There you go. Yeah, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, folks. We're gonna make sure we drop it in the comments. We're working on getting our numbers up, and you too can be a
Absolutely.
part of that. So we're gonna say we're gonna sign off and see you guys next week, same time, same channel. No Shortcut Show. God bless everyone. Peace. Good night. We'll see you next week.
Peace.